I'm Teana Overton. I work at Schnyder Law Firm. I'm a trial attorney. I represent persons who are injured at no fault of their own. The most rewarding case that I worked on was pretty early on in my career, and I'm still early on in my career, but I had a 14-year-old girl who was 8 months pregnant, who was shot in the head, and it killed her and her baby at an apartment complex in an area that we'll say is just not so good of an area. That was one of my very early on cases. That kind of shaped my whole career, honestly. It made me realize how impactful personal injury law is. And although, a lot of times we're viewed as ambulance chasers, this is something where we can really make an impact on people and make a difference in people's lives. A lot of the times that as attorneys, we work with people who have gone through emotional trauma, mental trauma, physical trauma, and we have to determine how we handle that for ourselves so it doesn't take a toll on us. For me personally, I have a couple of good outlets that I use. I go to therapy, I work out regularly, but I also compartmentalize and just know that I've done my best at the end of the day for these people, and that's how I deal with that emotional level. Over the next few years, I see my career evolving by trying more cases, and by doing that, I gain invaluable knowledge and a skill set that transform into every file that I touched. In my first few years of practicing, what I have found to be the most useful is nothing that I've learned in the classroom. It's just stuff that I learned from everyday life. A lot of times we think that we have to be a certain way or a certain image or from a certain background to be successful trial attorneys, and that's not the case. Don't leave who you are at the door. Bring all of that in with you. So a lot of the times, I don't code switch. I'm gonna talk to everybody the same in any room that I'm in, and that has been, in my opinion, my biggest asset, because I'm able to talk to people as people and take these broad legal concepts and break them down to everyday colloquial language. So don't forget that you're a person first. Sure, you may have this legal knowledge of whatever you learned from law school or practicing or anything, but don't forget you're human and you represent humans. And when people hear your cases, they're also human. So don't leave that out. That's the most important factor. If there's any piece of advice that I can give new lawyers or law students or future law students who want to practice in personal injury, it's not to change who you are. Who you are is an asset in every case that you bring in. Your life experience, your knowledge outside of the courtroom or the classroom is invaluable. Do not change.